Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Hatbox here with some World of Warships. Today I'm just doing this series because it's a new thing I wanted to try. So every Wednesday it'll be called World of Warships Wednesdays, and I'll bring out this game. We'll play it. Hopefully within a week's time I'll be able to get some good content within that week. However, no promises. I'm not the best at this game. But yeah, for those of you not familiar with World of Warships, it's pretty much just World of Warships from World War I and World War II, simulated into an arcade-style battle arena where two teams deck it out to pretty much win the game. That's pretty much what it is. If you've heard of World of Tanks, it's pretty similar to that, but with ships, yeah. Anyways, so without trying to explain too much of it, you'd kind of just have to go along with it to, you know, be able to get the full experience out of it. So, yeah. Today we're starting off with the Minekaze. The Minekaze is one of the classes of the game, which is the Destroyer class. There's three other classes aside from the Destroyer. There's the Cruiser, the Battleship, and the Aircraft Carrier. More specifically, as far as the Destroyers go, Destroyers fire torpedoes off the sides of the ship, and as you can see here, down the center, 1, 2, 3 torpedo tubes on the Minekaze. Very nice, able to fire on both sides of the boat since they are center mounted, however obviously not the front or the back. Now I'm not really going to talk about the history of the Minekaze because I believe that is more suited to Jingles. The Mighty Jingles does a really good job recounting the history of all of these vehicles, and I suggest you go check them out. Let's talk about the main strengths and weaknesses of the ship, just so I don't go into too much detail, and then I'll let you know what modules and crew skills you should have on your commander so that you will be most effective in this ship. It is a very beautiful ship, especially when you have camo on it. It just looks so cute. So let's start with probably the biggest strength of this ship, the maneuverability. 41 knots is insane at tier 5. From tiers 1 to 10, Japanese destroyers are one of the fastest ships alongside the Americans. However, at tier 5, no other tier 5 destroyer or below can really compete with the Minekaze. The rudder shift time is almost instant, 2.1 seconds. So that means as soon as you hit the left or right key to turn, you are going to turn left and right, and you will be there in a full turn instantly. And that's what is really nice about this vehicle. A 550 meter turning circle radius means that, well, you're never going to hit an island if you head straight onto it. So if you want to go down to a narrow channel, fire off your torpedoes, then turn, there's really little to no chance of you hitting the island. This also means that you can also dodge torpedoes that are coming from the enemy, as well as enemy fire, which is something that's really nice about the Minekaze, because it's so small, you just barely tap the turn button, everybody's gonna miss you. It's just the way it is. The second biggest strength, which is equally as good as the maneuverability, and it's true of all Japanese destroyers, a little bit more than all the other destroyer classes in the game, is the concealment. Detectability range by sea, 6.0 kilometers, and by air, 3.1 kilometers. This means you can play very aggressively against other planes that come down to spot you, and you can play very aggressively with your torpedoes, but this is the number you have to keep in mind, the 6.0 kilometer detectability range by sea. The reason why I say you have to keep this in mind is because your torpedoes, which is the whole bang for your buck for destroyer classes in general, is that they have a range of 7.0 kilometers. Obviously you can extend this with crew skills on your captain, as well as I believe some signal flags that you get in this game. However, for the most part, you're going to have a 7.0 kilometer torpedo range. Basically what you need to do, keep your ship and the the torpedo range in mind when you're engaging ships. You don't want to be detected in your Japanese destroyers. That's the one thing that people mess up, is they try to be too aggressive, especially in Japanese destroyers, because 7.0 kilometers at this tier is actually very far, and at tier 6 I believe it is the exact same, if not slightly better, about 10 kilometer range. I will show that more in the video. Sorry, not the video, the battle that I had, that I feel describes this ship the best to its ability. Without going into too much detail about his weaknesses, obviously, terrible anti-air defense, not that great guns. Japanese weren't really known for their good guns. And then obviously, survivability. You're a destroyer. All destroyers are fairly weak. 1 or 2 torpedo hits will take you out, as well as a barrage from HE and anything else. The one thing that is good for your ship, though, is that, for the most part, battleships and cruisers are going to be firing AP, armor piercing. Armor piercing will overmatch any destroyer in the game and do minimum damage, which is something you have to look out for. Another plus side to the Minekaze, especially at this tier, if we look at the armor, does not have a citadel. There's no citadel on this thing, so there's a very low chance of you even getting citadeled. I know you can get citadeled in this thing, but it's a very, very low chance. However, I've seen people get nuked. Don't know where the ammo belt is on this thing, but I'm assuming anywhere on the top decks as far as firing at the guns. Torpedo tubes, obviously, instant detonation. As far as modules go, everything else is pretty much useless, you could take my word for it. Main armaments modification, if you had anything, it would be this, because it keeps your torpedo tubes alive if you take any hits. Aiming systems modification, if you need to fire your guns, then this really helps you out, as well as 20% to torpedo tubes traverse speed. You need to get those torpedo tubes around your ship. This will do it instantly for you. Propulsion modification, 20% to the risk of engine becoming incapacitated. This is just personal preference. All the other ones are useful, I would say, except for this one. Not really that useful, because you're not going to get hit by torpedoes. That's pretty much the one thing you don't want to be hit by. And you shouldn't be hit by, to say the least. And then steering gears, if you do not have the skill that allows you to continue moving and turning on your commander, then I would definitely invest in this. As far as ammunition and consumables, I use all the standard stuff. Don't really see a use to spam smoke or speed boosts. Maybe for damage control parties if you want to reduce the time that it reloads, which can be very useful. Moving up to your commander. The ones that I would like to do, I'm not quite there yet because I haven't maxed out my commander. You have to go through basic firing training to get to 10% to the reload time of torpedo tubes. This is very useful. It takes that 42-second reload time, drops it down to about 38 to 40 seconds. That little bit of time will make a huge difference, I can assure you. As far as concealment and acquisition, go all the way down this tree until you reach the concealment expert, which is negative 10% to destroyers, negative 12% of cruisers, negative 14% to battleships, negative 16% to aircraft carriers. Focusing mainly on the destroyer part, because you do not want to be seen by enemy destroyers, as well as any other person on the team. Very useful. Going through this tree also gives you 25% to acquisition range of torpedoes, which means that you will spot torpedoes a lot further away than normal. And then finally, indicator of long-range enemy artillery fire is very nice to get. Helps you out, so that if you do not see shots coming in, you will see the indicator that tells you if shots are coming in, and that's very useful. Special skills, I would go for the Last Stand, which ignores damage to the engine and the steering gears. So while you have a huge penalty on steering and speed, it is still better than not being able to move at all. This leads into Superintendent, which is +1 additional charge to all consumables on a mounted on a ship, sorry. That's very useful, especially if, say, you're late game and you've used all your smoke and your speed boosts. The next one isn't really that good, especially for the Minekaze, because anti-air armament, not useful. However, the last one, you could find a potential use for it, if you so please. Negative 15% to the reload time of all mounted consumables. Other than that, I really wouldn't recommend going anything else unless you just want to max out all the skills. Unless you wanted to get plus 3% chance of fire on target caused by a main caliber shell or a bomb. Not really that useful considering the guns on this thing aren't that good. As far as the exterior goes, standard stuff. Wargaming just throws camouflages at you, so I would use that to the best of your ability, and I wouldn't stray away from trying to get some of these camouflages if you ran out of the center one. The center one is just a combination of these two. The premium ones are the combination of the previous two, as well as 100% to XP earned to battle. If you have the extra money to spend, that would be very nice. Signals. I bought a signal pack, so I got a ton of them. However, like camouflage, Wargaming throws signals at you. So yeah, use that to the best of your ability. Don't let it go away. The ones that I would probably equip, obviously, all the EXP and credit boosts, as well as free EXP. They have one in the top left here if you want to use that. Oh no, where is it? Yes, right here. The Juliet Charlie. Negative 100% to the risk of your ship's magazine detonation. They also throw this one at you. If you want to use it, it's up to you. However, I have not been detonated, as you will not be hit by torpedoes that often, and shouldn't be hit at all. If you do get hit, it's not real. You're pretty much losing half of your health, so I wouldn't say it's that worth it. The other ones I go for is the India Yankee. Negative 20% to the time of fire extinguishing, which is very nice if you don't want to use your repair consumable. As well as 5% to the ship's maximum speed, which is, you know, it takes it about from 97, 98 to 99, almost maximum, as well as I believe there's another crew skill that allows you to get even faster. So I would use that to the best of your ability. As far as what the Minekaze leads into, Mutsuki. I've heard good and bad things about this ship. Namely, the one giant good thing is these torpedoes. 10 kilometers is very nice, especially when you're going from 7 to 10. So yeah, let's get into some gameplay. I'll show you the best example of how to play the Minekaze to the best of your ability and how to support your team. And we'll see you right there. So here we are, joining a game on Neighbors. This is pre-recorded footage, so you see me moving around. I actually recorded this before, and I decided to redo it. So we're at a Tier 7 maximum battle, with the top tiers being 2 battleships and 1 aircraft carrier on each team, and then so on and so forth. Now you may be wondering if Tier 10 is the maximum tier in this game. Tier 7 must be pretty much up there. So, will I even be effective against Tier 7 ships in my Tier 5? And the thing you gotta know and take away from World of Warships is, any ship you get matched up against, you can still do damage to. It's not like World of Tanks where you will bounce off every single time, where you have to choose your targets very, very selectively. In World of Warships, you can still choose your targets selectively to do the maximum amount of damage, but no matter who you shoot at, you're always going to do damage, depending on how you fire at them. Obviously, there are angling mechanics, but in your destroyers, I recommend you never fire AP unless you have the broadside of a ship at close range. Otherwise, it'll just bounce off. So anyways, Neighbors. This map, I've played it a couple times. I'm still brand new to the game, so I just play for the fun of it. But I do have several things in mind when I play these games, and the first thing is to choose a direction that other destroyers don't go to. This way I can effectively cover the entire range of the map with the other destroyer. However, it seems that this other destroyer decided to go north. That's what he believed would be the best option for him. Now if we look at the map, and the destroyer on our right just spotted the first enemy. I'm trying to expand my map, even though this is a recording. If you see that dotted circle, that is the spotting distance of my ship. You see I've been detected by the Minekaze. Maximum spotting distance, 6 kilometers. I move behind the island, don't get spotted. You can see me fire preemptively at the Minekaze, hoping he will come around the island. But alas, he does not get hit by my torpedoes. Anyways, so the way you play your ships, your destroyers, is use that lead indicator to your best advantage. See me switching to my guns here, because while I have been saying and preaching that the guns on the Minekaze suck, they're good against enemy destroyers, and if you're spotted anyways, then you might as well use them to the best of your advantage. So this Minekaze is playing very, very aggressively against me, even though I have my entire team behind me, and he's going to regret that. Never sail that close to a destroyer. It seems that he was trying to go broadside on to fire at me, but he does not get any torpedoes off, and I sink him with a single torpedo hit, which is very, very nice. Anyways, as I was saying, that center circle, disregarding the most outer circle, which is my maximum gun firing arc, my dog's barking, sorry. The center circle is basically the maximum range of your torpedoes. So if you can keep the enemy in range of your spotting distance, so outside of the range, and your torpedo range so you can hit them without them seeing you, that is basically how you play destroyers. Obviously I get spotted by this other Minekaze, just as our own destroyer manages to sink the enemy Minekaze. I believe that was a Minekaze anyways. However, he himself gets sunk, and the scores are relatively even right now. They only lost 2 ships. So, not really too worried. Obviously, I fired there. When you fire, your maximum distance of being spotted goes up. If anybody spots you while you are in this maximum distance, you will stay in that circle even longer than you would have as if no one spotted you. If no one spots you, then you go right back down to your center circle as if nothing really happened. Anyways, you see me here not firing at the Pensacola, and that's because, as a destroyer, you need to look at your minimap and use your minimap to your best advantage. The reason for that is, since you want to keep people at bay, if they're between you not getting spotted and your torpedo range, if they're running away from you, your torpedoes are just going to die out before they even reach them. So it's not really that useful to fire, waste ammo, and have to wait on the reload, even though this reload is very quick, especially with that negative 10%, 15% to reload time. Obviously, very nice. The range, I would say you should fire torpedoes at if battleships or cruisers are heading towards you in a straight path, preferably parallel to you, is about 9 to 10 kilometers. That way they have the time to go into that circle, since torpedoes do travel, and yeah, pretty much get hit anyways. Obviously they can spot it, they can turn. Pretty much World of Warships 101, if you see a destroyer, there's a very high chance that torpedoes are in the water designated for you. However, it does not seem like the enemy team wants to press the advantage while our team does, so I decided to come around the corner. I want to aim for that, I believe it is the Congo. Yeah, I'm aiming at the Congo because he's heading in this direction towards me. However, at the last second, the Minekaze will tank spots me, and I have to change targets to him so I can get him off my tail, because now that I'm spotted and that Congo isn't a dumb battleship player, he is going to start turning and slowing down as to not get hit by my torpedoes. So I lay a couple of rounds into the enemy Minekaze. The goal is to set him on fire, make him waste a consumable, and then hopefully take out his steering gears so he can't turn, so he will run aground. However, he pops smoke. He does it in a way... Actually, no, he doesn't pop smoke yet. He didn't fire a shot, so I lose detection of him. However, he is still detecting me, so yeah, a couple more seconds as detected. However, this Congo is deciding to press the advantage. He sees that only I am over here, and I'm only protected by these 2 battleships over here. However, these 2 battleships are about to move behind an island. One of my battleships, the Nagato, is going to turn right. You can see him right there. And he's going to go and help me out with this Congo. This Congo, he's going to spot me in a second. There's nothing I can do about it. Unless he decides to turn around the island. When you know there's a destroyer in the water, don't turn into an island, because you leave no opportunity for you to change directions that effectively. All he has to do now is turn right, or it seems as though he was going very slowly, so he decided to speed up. And you see me fire 2 barrages, one to the left more. I thought he was going to slow down, but alas, he did not. And my 3rd barrage of torpedoes does hit him, the only 1 hit though. However, my Nagato friend, as I mentioned previously, I thought he was going to come around the island, the Congo. However, my Nagato friend gets a lucky citadel, as you can see right here. Shots out. Dead. I love citadel hits. So there's that Minekaze. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind as far as destroyers go, the main goal of destroyers is to aim at 2 other targets, and that is battleships and other destroyers. If you take in consideration that you can one-shot kill a ship, then the enemy destroyer can one-shot kill a ship. So if you take those out, that's greatly helping your team and helping them survive while you are still living and being able to kill, being able to kill multiple enemy ships. Now I fire preemptively. However, on the minimap, he does turn left from his direction, and he does get away from me. Yep, he spots me, turns left immediately, does not want to have anything to deal with it, so I decide I'm going to pump a couple more rounds into him. I'm not really good at leading shots, especially during turns. I feel like it's a weird mechanic that I don't really understand yet, but I'll pretty much get into it. Anyways, he turns all the way around, full 180, and this is where he decides to pop smoke, because I give him a hit, take 660 HP off of him, which is a lot for destroyers. Fire one more time, turns, I only get 2 shots off of him. I take out his steering gears, it seems. However, he still has his damage repair ability, so he manages to get away with it. This next shot does hit, does nothing. I spot him once more, he pops smoke. And yeah, sometimes the greatest thing in your destroyers that you can do is to play a delaying game against other enemies. Taking into consideration that if the enemy team isn't dumb and they know you're there and they're avoiding all your torpedoes, they have 2 options. They either have to turn and face your torpedoes to dodge them, which limits the amounts of guns that is pointing at the enemies, or they have to turn away, which, if they're not within range and they have a low range firing guns, they're not going to be able to do anything and they're just wasting time. I see that the Minekaze decides to turn into his smoke, so he's probably going around the right side of the island. However, I notice an even bigger threat. You can see me here paying attention to these torpedo bombers. Or sorry, not torpedo, the dive bombers. I do not want to get detected by them, even though I already am detected. You see me here firing my AA guns. My anti-air guns actually count towards me getting spotted to a slightly bigger distance, which is 7 kilometers. Take a hit here. Use my damage control ability to get my steering back up. Right now, our biggest threat are these 2 battleships and the Furotaka who are coming in. However, I should say 1 battleship and 1 Furotaka, because, yeah, I don't think that Bayern's gonna last very long. The Furotaka has already demonstrated that he can dodge torpedoes, and he's not stupid. So my main target is going to be firing 1 barrage of torpedoes at him, and the other 2 barrages at the Nagato. So any minute now. Boom. Bead 108. Playing a very good game so far. Done a lot. The scores are still relatively even. They have 1 more ship than us. We have the battleship advantage. I should mention, however, Their enemy cruiser is doing a lot of work. 4 kills already. Pretty good in a aircraft carrier, I should say. I keep on saying cruiser, don't know why. It sounds very similar to me. So I fire off my first 2 barrages at the Furutaka. I believe the second barrage was aimed a little bit more to the right, just so I can hit the Nagato. You see me check my torpedoes if they were going to hit. However, on the minimap, the very top red indicator tells you that he is turning away from me. There's no way my torpedoes are going to hit, because I fired before he was even in maximum distance of my torpedoes. However, my set of 3 torpedoes is already off. It looks like these 2 are going to hit, however, they just fall short. The Nagato sees these torpedoes. He's freaking out, so he goes into a turn. What I originally thought was him trying to dodge my torpedoes, he was actually trying to get a little bit more guns pointed at my friendly Nagato. He wanted to kill him, because in your battleships, you can really only shoot what you can see, and since that enemy destroyer is no longer here spotting me, I don't know where he went. He kind of disappeared on me, which was freaking me out for a while, but I really couldn't do anything about it, so I decided, gotta stop this Nagato from killing my Nagato. So he turns, mistakenly gets 1 torpedo hit off on him. I don't know if he did that intentionally or if he was really trying to dodge. However, yet again, my torpedoes are loaded, all 3. Gonna fire off 2 barrages, as well as the 3rd. However, this Nagato has had enough of me, so he decides to move back around the island. He's not going to take another hit because he is turning sharp, and my shots do not land exactly where I intended them. Now, as you can see, even taking a few hits, 1 hit from the enemy, I am down to half HP. I did take slight damage from the first Minekaze that I faced, but still, 4,000 damage is a ton, considering I only got hit once by a couple HE shells. Anyways, I still know that this Nagato is oblivious. He's going to plow past this island. You can't see it right now, but I do have an aim indicator on him. That's how I am leading these shots. Waiting until the indicator tells me he will be on the other side of the island. Perfect. Send those torpedoes out. The Furutaka behind him, as I could no longer spot him, it looked like he was heading back behind the island with the Nagato, so there's a chance that he will be hit. Check my team list here. Just as the Nagato pops back into view, he's about to spot me. I believe I do get spotted here because I just stray. Oh no, I hide behind the island, don't get spotted. But all of the torpedoes hit their mark. There's something so satisfying when you're a torpedo player. It feels so nice to get, or sorry, a destroyer player. It just feels nice to one-shot the entirety of ships, which is really what you are really looking for. So you see there down in chat, Saratoga in his Texas decided to call me out and saying that I am very useless right now, and I am not helping out in the slightest because I'm defending my base, which is something that destroyers shouldn't do, apparently, which I very, very keenly disagree with. However, my team comes to my defense instantly, and they help me out. You see me there use my speed boost. I did that because I was trying to stay out of the maximum spotting distance of that Furutaka, but obviously, he still caught up with me. Furutaka is a very fast ship, plus I was doing a lot of turns. He's going to take 1 torpedo hit, which is pretty much all of his HP, and it looks like I'm about to kill him with flooding damage. However, at the very last second, I was about to take a pot shot at him, but the Nagato kind of steals my kill. No, I'm not blaming him whatsoever. Pardon the dogs in the background. Our other friendly Nagato, the Zandrio, 8915, takes out the Minekaze. However, as you can see in the bottom right, he is being constantly bombarded by the enemy aircraft carrier, and he gets taken out. And this is where I kind of get cocky, especially talking with the Saratoga guy in chat. I tell him, sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of us winning. And just as I say that, I make the gravest mistake of my life. My goal right now is to go and kill the enemy aircraft carrier, because at the time I had assumed that we needed to kill all enemy ships to win and not have more points than them to win. However, you just need more points to win. So right here, my big mistake happens. I slow down, pop smoke because I don't want to be spotted and killed, when I should have realized that the carrier is actually aiming for my friendly Nagato, because the Nagato, a battleship, is going to have a very hard time dodging any bombs or torpedoes that come in from the aircraft carrier, considering that torpedo bombers from aircraft carriers are extremely effective in this game, even better than destroyers, because destroyers drop it from 7 kilometers away, torpedo bombers drop it almost instantly. So my Nagato, he's not going to last long. However, this is where I make my grave mistake. I have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go and kill this cruiser. Or sorry, not cruiser, this carrier. Since I slowed down, I just wasted a whole minute of time that I could have taken, and if I didn't do it, I would have gone and been able to kill this carrier and won the game for us. However, we are ahead on points, so I was also confident that we wouldn't lose even if the Nagato did die. You can see dive bombers coming in to take a couple shots on him. I look back to see. First shot hits, lands pretty much square. This guy is on 6 kills, so he's not bad at aiming. He takes a second barrage from dive bombers. You can hear it in the background. Boom. Okay, I lied, you didn't hear it, but I don't think he took that hit. However, this next set of torpedo bombers is going to take him off. And even more bigger mistakes, I'm turning away from where the cruiser is spotted because I didn't want to be spotted by those aircraft when I could have been more aggressive. There was no way that this carrier would have known that I was coming, no matter what, regardless of what I did to hide myself. He knew I was coming. So this next set of torpedo bombers is going to kill my Nagato, and I am confident that I can kill him before time runs out. However, something terrible happens. He sinks my Nagato, and he pulls the game ahead by 3 whole points. And I have 37 seconds to kill him. I burnt out my speed boost consumable. Yeah, no way I'm gonna get to him now. Needless to say, this was a sad loss. You can see there in the chat, Saratoga doing a bannable offense, letting the carrier know that I'm here. Carrier turns towards me because he knows I'm here now. Sends all his dive bombers out. However, it's too late. None of us are going to get any damage done. This time has run out. The screen fades black here. Gonna pause this video. Boom. Really, in the end, what I should have done is either sped ahead, or I should have gone back and defended my Nagato with my anti-air guns, although that might not have been the best option, considering that I have terrible AA guns. That also increases his chance of killing both of us, so I didn't want to risk it. At the time, though, I didn't really make a bad decision, because I didn't want to be spotted, I didn't want to be killed, because if I got killed, then it was only a matter of time before the Nagato got killed. Either way, if he killed me, we would have lost by 3 points, which kind of sucks. The best option would have been to go speed on ahead, get as close to him as possible, ignoring all fire that comes down on him, especially since I'm so maneuverable. My main fear was that the torpedo bombers were going to come in, and since he was a good player, he wasn't going to let me be able to turn out of the bombs. So I was pretty much going to be screwed. But yeah, what can you do, really? Anyways, guys, that was a bout. I don't have the exact numbers. The numbers will be on the screen. 96,000 damage. Done. Almost 100,000 if I had killed that carrier. And it was a defeat. I still got a decent amount of XP from it, and I felt like I did very good despite, losing. At the end, I've finished top of the team, so really at the end, that's all that matters. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I don't know if it was entertaining or not, or if it was informational so that you learned how to play the destroyers a little bit. You can expect me to play destroyers a lot more, because I love destroyers to death. Yeah, I'll try to explain the best I can in subsequent videos after this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment down below if you want to see more of this. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Au revoir, ladies and gentlemen. Au revoir.